My topic is analysis of socioeconomic conditions and their relationship to depression among elderly in China. The population aging is a global phenomenon. It is accompanied by various social and health problems, and the mental health is one of the important issues because the elderly people often have psychological problems such as loneliness, anxiety, and depression. Particularly in China, the depression among elderly people not only has a negative impact of the well-being themselves, but also greatly increases the social costs. And there are these three aspects about the elderly depression in social science perspective. First, the depression may from biological issue, because the decline in physical health is a normal aging process that everyone cannot avoid, and it can cause memory and movement disorders for the elderly people and give them body mobility limitation and physical discomfort, which make them easily to feel useless and suffer from depression. Second, the depression may from the social issue. When the people become the elder people, there are many changes in their life. For example, after retirement, the elder people may maintain only basic life and cannot afford large expenses for some uncertain events, such as illness and hospitalization. Also, they may lose their spouse or relatives or close friends. So these kind of things may make them reduce their social and family roles, which make them easily to feel lonely and less important to the family and the society. The last one, with the economic growth and the social modernization, there is a change of the residence type from the traditional extended family to the currently nuclear family. So the elderly people are usually empty nest elderly. So it's hard for them to get the emotional supports or the material supports from their adult children. So it also makes them easier to suffer from depression. Then there's these gaps that this study aims to fill. First, fill nationwide study in the previous studies. Previous studies focused on analyzing the issue in a particular city. For example, such as Beijing, Anhui Province, Fuzhou City, and so on. But China is a vast territory. So those studies results may not be representative of other regions in China. So this study used nationwide data is expected to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the depression situation. Second, although previous studies they included a variety of the factors to assess the depression, only few studies have analyzed the residence type. For example, the elder people living alone or not living alone. The previous studies focused on mainly on analyze the depression among the elderly people by comparison with other age groups, for example, the middle-aged people. So there are only a few studies that have analyzed the elderly people only. Then this study classifies the associated factors for the depression among the elderly people into these 4 groups. And these 4 groups of factors were also used in the analytical framework as the independent variables. And the dependent variables is the depression. Then about the methodology. This study employs the quantitative approach with secondary data, which named 2018 China Health and Retirement Longitudinal Study. And in terms of the study sample, this study only retains the people who aged 60 years old and above in China as the study sample for the analysis. Then the dependent variable in this study is the depression among the elderly in China. It was determined by using the CESD scale. In this scale, there are 10 items, and in each items, there are these 4 selective answers, and the corresponding score is 0, 1, 2, and 3, respectively. And then this study summed all the scores together. So the total score in this scale reached from 0 to 30. Then by following the recommendation from the previous studies, the cutoff point of 10 was used to decide the depression. So if the elderly people got the score equal or more than 10, they were classified into the yes group. If they got the score less than 10, then they were classified into no group. So the dependent variable in this study is a binary variable. The independent variables in this study are just these 4 groups of the selected factors. Then about the statistical analysis, this study conducts the descriptive analysis for a summary of variables, and the proportion of the elder people who with the depression is also calculated. Then those 4 groups of the selected factors are also explored and compared to the elder people who without depression by using the chi-square test. Then because the dependent variable in this study is the binary logistic regression analysis. So is the binary variable. So this study used the binary logistic regression analysis to examine those selected factors, how those selected factors are related to the depression among elder people. Also, this study observed the multilinearity among the independent variables. So this study performed these 3 binary logistic regression analyses. Lastly, all the statistical analyses were conducted by using the SPSS. That got the results. After screening and processing the 2080 trials data, this study finally obtained 3,332 elderly people as the study sample, and there are 3,129 elderly people had the depression with the CSD score equal or more than 10, which accounts for approximately 37.6% of the total sample. Then about the relationship between the depression and these independent variables, the elder people who were female, younger, and divorced, separated, or never married, and who lived in the rural areas, these kind of people were more likely to suffer from depression. And the people who have higher level of income and education, and those who participate in the social activity and have appropriate sleeping hours, and interestingly have regularly drinking, they were less likely to suffer from depression. Sorry. Also, the elder people who have difficulties in ADL ability and well, sorry, I'm out just now. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm just maybe the internet. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, I can share it. You can the one which you shared. You can continue from now.
Oh, thank you. Then please go to.
1 second. There's some technical issues. Let me just share again. Yeah. I hope you can see the screen.
21. 21. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Then the second for the elder people who live alone, the government should develop and strengthen the current monetary system. For this, the budget system can be the intervention program, and the local volunteer program can be another recommendation.
Everyone, this is Manjushri, and I'm pursuing my PhD from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. And my topic for paper presentation is Digital Technology Enabled Human Resources Management. So, just a So the introduction part, this paper presents the impact of technology on human resources management in context of recent COVID-19 pandemic and thereafter. So a qualitative study has been conducted in an Indian manufacturing organization, and the impact has been studied. I mean, when the organization started using the technology in an extensive manner, and how the impact of technology on HRM, and what are the long-term impact in the organization. So we have found that the technology has brought out the change in work culture because of technological intervention, and also this paper is looking for the what was the role of HR in dealing with the changes when the technology was introduced, and how they supported the organization and also employees. And what are the long-term impact while during pandemic when technology was introduced and thereafter. So this slide is looking at the digitization of HR. These are my findings of my research. And first is digitization of HR for managing the pandemic. So, everyone knows that, every organization tried to use the technology when we were in need during recent COVID-19 pandemic. So same here in this organization, the digital infrastructure was in place in the organization, but as we know, manufacturing organization have traditional mindset, and that was not allowing the organization to fully implement the technology, even if it was in place. But when there were government guidelines that we have to work remotely and there is no way out, so the organization started with remote work operation, and HR also started working remotely. So, but the main important challenge before the HR department was that to make available the manpower to the organization, because it's a manufacturing organization, and these are, they are having continuous processes which cannot be stopped, and they had taken the permission from the government to to run the operations in the organization. So here HR used the digital dashboards to comply to the norms of COVID-19, and to see the manpower availability in the system. How many people are infected with COVID, how many people are available for the actual work at the plant, and how people are moving. The employees had to fill their travel history in the system, so that the organization used to come to know that how many people have traveled to the infected zone, how many people are infected with COVID. So the technology helped in a great way to HR department for managing the pandemic, to keep people safe from the infection for contract tracing. So that was the savior for the organization. So HRM department could take the decision, like how to plan the work, how many people are available for the work, and how many people are infected, and in these ways HRM implemented the technology and also supported the business. So that was the time of the pandemic, and they had to implement the technology. And thereafter, during pandemic also, and thereafter, HRM started working in a digital way. Like they also implemented the technology in their day-to-day operations, their processes. They revamped their entire processes, and so that the processes should be, compatible with the change work context. And HRM introduced remote work operation for the entire organization. For the function which can work from the remote work operation. And this was very challenging for the organization. As I already said, that it's a big manufacturing organization, and everybody believed in working at actual physical work site. But HR took the steps, and they implemented the remote work operation for the functions like marketing, finance, HR, supply chain, management, etc. All the processes, HR processes have been revamped and digitized, so that like remote work operation, flexible work operation. The process should be compatible with the new way of work and culture. So here, all the managerial process have been digitized, and it is in the practice. And organization is also looking for the digitization of blue collar employees. Around 60-70% is work is done, and they are looking for 100% digitization of blue collar employees processes also. The processes dealing with employees like life cycle, like recruitment or onboarding, selection, performance management, exit management, etc., are completely digitized, and all the work is being done. It started during pandemic, and it was there before pandemic also, but extensive use started during pandemic, and it is brought into the practice, and it is the part of day-to-day operation. The organization started connecting with the employees on the virtual platform during pandemic. They connected with each and every employees to support the employees. And starting with that virtual connect, they shifted to employee engagement. They shifted employee engagement program to virtual platform, and they have gone one step ahead, and now the employee engagement or employee connect program is having employees plus their families also. And this employee engagement or connect program can be attended by anyone from anywhere, because this doesn't have the constraint of time and place. It is done after the work time. HR also introduced many self-help apps, because the culture of agile work culture has been introduced in the organization, and there is no boundary of time and workplace, because everyone is working on a remote platform. So the organization wanted to empower the employees to facilitate their processes, their day-to-day processes, like application of leave, their nomination form. So, or if they have any queries, so they will be routed through all the self-help apps, and they don't need to come to HR department. So in this way, the employees are, they are able to do their work, and they don't need to come to HR or each and every small things. Now HR department is able to reach out to people with the help of virtual platform, and this reach is wider, because there is no constraint of people joining over the virtual platform, and they can be connected anytime, anywhere. There are no glitches of finding the conference room and time and availability of people. People are also finding the ease of joining meetings and communication from anywhere from their places. And this is this helped HR during pandemic also. I mean, that was a very crucial period when HR wanted to connect with the people, and these platform helped HRM to support the organization, to connect with the employees and provide them support. Also, this digital technology is helping HR department in a way that it is reducing their human efforts. I mean, like in terms of manual work and helping employees in transactional work, with helping employees with their leaves and nomination form, etc. And they are able to use these this time smartly so that they can improve the systems and processes and give their best to the organization and the function. So now all the trainings and every learning and development is the classroom training is the history for the organization, and every training, it is technical training or managerial training, it is the trainings are conducted over online platforms only. Also, blue collar employees are able to join the trainings over their smartphones, and they have been empowered with the digital support. So when the context of work changed, like people started working from their homes, from remote location. Organization wanted to support this change work context with the policies. So they have introduced different policies, and a very important policy in the organization was that the introduction of remote work operation policy. So the organization gave options of employees that who can, basis of their job profile, the employees were given the options of complete remote work operation and flexible work operation. So in complete remote work operation, employees need not come to the workplaces and they can completely work from home. And in flexible work operations, they have to come as per the work requirement, and whenever they want to, they can work from home. Also, the organization introduced the concept of assumed attendance. This was also revolutionary policy, wherein now the organization is not monitoring their attendance, and the salary is not attached to, it is not based on the actual attendance. Whenever, it is assumed that the employees are available in the organization, and whenever they want to take, they have to apply the leave in the system, and self-approval of leaves are the facility of self-approval of leaves is there. So this has helped a lot to the organization, that our organization has shown the trust in the employees, that because they are working remotely, organization doesn't have the control in terms of physical monitoring, but the employees, the productivity of the employees and the work they have done during the pandemic. So organization have shown the trust in their employees, and now they are not monitoring their attendance. Also, the salary restructuring has been done to take the factors like when people are working from their homes, so they need the telephone connection and data connection. So basis these factors, furnitures and different things, so to take these factors in the salary structure, so they have made the salary restructuring of employees also. So these are the policies, revolutionary policies or important policies that help in establishing trust based and agile work culture in the organization. So with these different things happening in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, use of extensive use of technology in the organization and in the HRM department also. I mean, it is found that HRM as a as a function has evolved, during the journey. So HRM also introduced, technology-enabled work has been implemented in HRM, and this is the new work culture. And for HRM, the organization has implemented agile work models. The organization is looking for agility in HR department, and they want to improve their responsiveness. I mean, there should not be any, system should be responsive, and there should not be any delays in the system. So agile work model, I mean, the work should not be stopped at any time, anywhere. So leaving their traditional mindset of physical work culture, HRM has come up with the revolutionary policies, that is remote work operation policies. And these policies help the employees to have the trust in the organization, and employees are reciprocating the trust shown by the organization, and they are working without the constraint of time and work location. In this process, HRM responsiveness has improved. There is no barrier of time and workplace to help the employees in different in their concerns. And HRM started working in creative and smart way. And as I already said, that there is a seamless communication within the organization with the help of technology. So now, as I mentioned earlier, that there are various self-help apps and everything that people earlier used to connect with HRM for different queries and different HRM processes. Now the self-help apps are, the employees are using, and there is no need to actually connect with the HRM department. And if there is any query, it is being resolved over mail or phone. So there is actual no connect with HRM department. People are working differently. HR is working differently. Earlier there used to be interaction of physical meetings, etc. So people used to feel connected with HR department. So now it is the feel is that they are disconnected with the HRM department, and they don't feel that they should. The HR department is also there who is concerned about the employees. So the employees raise these queries that visibility of HR manager. It's a question that they are visible at workplaces. Now with the introduction of technology, work-driven culture is introduced. The organization is assuming that employees are available all the time over weekends, because the laptops are with them and they are connected with the technology, and also remote work operation is introduced. It is assumed that employees are available round the clock, and it is disturbing their work-life balance. They are working at home also, and they have to attend the calls anytime, anywhere. So it is adding up to their work stress. Mental and physical well-being is also being affected. And continuous use of digital assets like mobile and laptop, and all meetings over the digital assets, their health is getting affected. And they are also feeling that there's a disconnect between HRM and employees, and they want to discuss these issues, that they know there are advantages of technology, and they are finding they have come out of the pandemic, and technology has helped in a great way to deal with the pandemic, and to survive in the challenging work context, but still it is affecting their mental and physical well-being, and also disturbing work-life balance. And they want HRM intervention to deal with these challenges, and they want HR to provide platform to discuss such issues. So the conclusion is that technology has helped HRM in a great way to deal with the pandemic, and thereafter to bring it into their practice for long term. HRM introduced various good policies, and employees are appreciating that policies, and it is helping the organization to achieve their targets. The work-driven culture is introduced in the organization. Digitization of HRM process helped during pandemic, as I already discussed, and it is bringing in effectiveness in the way the HRM used to function, and agile work culture has been adopted in HRM department. HRM department evolved as a function in terms of introduction of revolutionary policies, implementation of remote work operation, flexible work operation, and revamping HRM processes. But I mean, as I discussed, HRM intervention is needed to deal with the employee disconnect and their concern with respect to new work culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manjushri, for your wonderful presentation.
Anup Kumar Bundela, research scholar, City University, Bhopal. My topic is the design and simulation of hairpin bandpass filter using rectangular shape defected ground structure. These are the content: objective, introduction, methodology, simulation result, conclusion, and references. Here, objective is to enhance the performance of hairpin bandpass filter using defected ground structure. Introduction: filter is an important component of communication system. Its function is to pass to desired signal and reject unwanted signal. Different type of microwave filter is available, like parallel coupled line filter, interdigital, and comb line filter. Here we have designed the hairpin bandpass filter. It is popular because of its small size and low cost. To design the hairpin bandpass filter, we have used the defected ground structure. Basically, defected ground structure is a pattern sketched on the ground plane. It may be rectangular shape, square shape, or dumbbell, or any other shape. DGS is used for improving the various parameters of microwave circuit. The defect on the ground plane disturb the current distribution of ground plane. The two important parameters to analyze the filter performance is the return loss and insertion loss. Return loss is defined as the ratio of reflected power to incident power. Insertion loss is defined as ratio of transmitted power to incident power. These are the methodology. To design the filter, we have choose the Chebyshev prototype, and these are the low prototype element values. From these values, we have calculated the tapping location, Q factor, and other parameter. These are the filter specification. Starting frequency of the filter is the 2.17 gigahertz. Stop frequency is the 4. It is the center frequency, and the fractional bandwidth is the 0.32. Filter order is 5. or frequency response Chebyshev. These are the substrate specification on which we have designed the filter. First, we have designed the basic hairpin bandpass filter. As you can see, it is a 5-pole filter, and we have obtained this result. On the 3.3 gigahertz frequency, we have obtained the return loss minus 40 dB, and these are the M1 and M2, two cutoff frequency to 2.17 gigahertz and 4 gigahertz. Now, we have used the two rectangular shape on the ground plane to improve the performance of the filter, and we have obtained this result. As you can see, result return loss in this case is minus 59.57 dB, and cutoff frequency is the 2.2 to 4 gigahertz. So between these frequencies that this filter is operating, and you can see minus 59, and in previous case minus 40 dB. Minus 59 is the small value, means return loss is the small. It shows the performance of the filter, how the power is transmitting from the source to impedance. If return loss is the low, means filter is the filter performance is the good. We designed the two filter, and one is the without defected ground, another is the with defected ground. In first case, we have obtained the minus 45 dB return loss, and in the second case, we have obtained the 59.57 dB return loss. It shows the improvement in performance of the defected ground structure. And these are the references. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation.
Very good evening to all of you. This is Monica, pre-PhD scholar from the Guru Jamdeshwar University, Saard, Haryana, India. And my title for presentation is Intrusion Detection System and Analytical Approach. Outline of presentation is abstract, introduction, architecture, identification, techniques, evaluation, and conclusion. Next is abstract. As we know that the use of the computer network internet grows day by day, the risk of these networks being attacked has also increased. A variety of approaches for detecting and preventing these threats have also been proposed and developed. So there is a urgent need to save the system, to save the internet. So IDS, intrusion detection system, have captured much of the attention of the researchers. IDS supervise the resource computer and send reports on any anomalies or strange patterns. The aim of this paper, The aim of this paper is to explain IDS techniques and tools as well as their performance evaluation. So it is essential for the researchers and research hubs as well as security personnel to investigate the potential of IDS. So introduction. So first of all, we need to understand why we need IDS. So it is really critical to highlight whether the entire web is safe or not. So cybersecurity is more than just the protection of such systems on every point in the channel. The transmission medium must not be subjected to exploited while sending data. So a potential attacker may attack the communication route, grab sensitive information and decode it, and then reintroduce a fake data. So we need intrusion detection system to protect platforms from different threats such as internal assaults. Assaults means here attacks, and malicious programs. IDS perform a critical function in cybersecurity since its primary objective is to constantly control data activity in order to detect unauthorized assaults. So, intrusion detection seems to be the act of watching and monitoring activities that occur in an internet environment in order to discover any vulnerability. Various key factors should be taken into account when designing a safe system. The first one is access. Access means here authorized people are given the ability to interact within a certain network. Next point is confidentiality. Data throughout the network is kept confidential, means it should not be altered. Authentication. Confirm that internet clients are who say they are. Integrity. Verify that the communication is not altered in transmission. Next point is non-repudiations. Non-repudiation means here assure that the client does not deny using the system. Next is the IDS architecture. So first module is here data packet collecting. So this module collects the data from the system online and offline also. Next module is pre-processing. Pre-processing means module contains one or more distinct preprocessors. This component job is to quantify and convert audit input into a manner suitable for the next input. Means it will become the input data for the ready for the next module. Next module is here match pattern signature. This module compares the pattern of signatures with the existing database signatures. Next point is generate the alerts. Next module is generate the alert. This module alerts to the system administrator if unusual, unauthorized activity is found. So this is the IDS architecture. Next is intrusion detection system identification, means types of the IDS system. The first type is host based intrusion detection system, HIDS. NIDS, host based intrusion detection system means it is installed on a single unit like a server or computer at which information is processed directly into the system and collected from several locations. Next point is next type is network intrusion detection system, NIDS. NIDS are carefully located in communication system. It may gather and interpret information to spot known threats by matching database structures or sign, or to identify bad acts by monitoring communications for unusual behaviors. It may sometimes refer to as packet sniffers also. Next point is protocol-based intrusion detection system. So PIDS is made up of a group of agencies that are always present toward the front interface of the server and which monitor and analyze the interactions between a specific user and the server. Next is application protocol-based IDS. It is also a system or device that exists within a collection of servers. By monitoring and understanding application-specific protocol communication, it detects the intrusions. Next is hybrid intrusion detection system. So hybrid intrusion detection is a combination of one or more IDS. Next is signature-based method. Signature-based method is also known as misuse-based method. It is a blacklist strategy that includes algorithms that match observed activities to structures that correlate to existing attacks. So let us understand signature-based method with the help of this diagram. So here, traffic controller gets the data from the online and offline traffic sources, then libpcap adds some libraries to the data, and then it input goes to detection engine. Detection engine analyzes the data for suspicious activity and matches the signature with the existing database patterns. If the signature matches, means it is unauthorized activity, then it will generate the alarm and tells to the administrator that there is some unusual, unauthorized activities there present. So if detection engine said there is no unusual, unauthorized activities found, then no signature match, then it will tells to the traffic analysis that and traffic analysis tells to the administrator. Next is anomaly-based method. Anomaly-based method is a whitelist strategy that incorporates algorithm that analyze observed signal to a list of specified usual behaviors to discover variations. The basic benefit of anomaly-based approach is the effective identification of the new attacks. Let us understand anomaly-based method with the help of diagram. Here, online, offline traffic is collected by a traffic controller, which is passed to the anomaly IDS. Anomaly IDS analyzes the traffic, and if suspicious behavior is found, then IDS examine the normal feature database. If the profile is discovered to be normal, then the alarm is generated. If, on the other hand, a reported event does not match the recorded normal profile database, IDS labels the behavior as anomalous. This abnormal behavior profile is sent to the threat analysis. The threat evaluator or analyzer check the normal profile database to check the threat intrusions as a recognized or unrecognized threat. If a threat is found to be known, later an alarm is generated. All report about the known, unknown attacks are transmitted to the analyst. For unknown attacks, the analyst transmitted it towards the learner. Learner learns the patterns of this unknown attacks, and this is to the known attack database repository for future use. Next point is data collection. Here are the 2 points, centralized and distributed. So centralized IDS is gathered, here data is gathered out of a particular resource for centralized IDS like a centralized computer, an isolated platform, or isolated node. In distributed data collection, data is collected from many sources such as various secondary IDS like mobile IDS and so on. Next point is detection mode, online mode and offline mode. In online mode, data transmission is continually analyzed for threats. If an attack is identified in input and output transmission, the response element of IDS disable it as quickly as feasible. It is more commonly employed IDS types called real-time IDS. And second point is offline mode. In offline mode, it monitors attacks on isolated database in huge centralized network on occasion. Next is evaluation of IDS tools. Here, first one is author Adib Almouth works on the title Performance Evaluation Study of IDS. It will use the tool. It uses the tool. Author uses the tool Snort and Suricata, and platform Linux and FreeBSD virtual machine, and with the parameter efficiency and packet size. And here are the some conclusion and evaluation of the Adib Almouth author, Hussein Al-Nabulsali. It works on the title Detecting SQL Injections Attack Using Snort IDS. It uses the tool Snort and uses a platform Linux and parameter FP, FN, precision, and recall rate. Here are the some conclusions. In this paper, author proposed rules perform 100% success in detection with 0 false alarm. Next author is Bilal Makbul Beek. Here the title is Performance Evaluation of Different IDS and Empirical Approach. Here he uses the tools Snort, Bro, and Suricata, and he found some observations, conclusion, and he will evaluate his study as Suricata IDS outperforms the other 2 IDS, Bro and Snort. He uses Linux as a platform and parameter false positive and detection rate. Next, author Kittikun Hong Ken Chon. He uses the title Evaluation Studies of 3 Ideas under Various Attacks and Rule Set, and uses the tool Snort, Bro, Suricata, and different platforms, Nmap, etc. And parameters uses, CPU uses, number of packet lost, number of alerts, and he concludes that every IDS provide minimal packet loss and minimal packet loss and minimal CPU uses across TCP traffic. Next author is Kunwan Hu et al. He uses the title Analyzing Performance Issue of Open Source IDS in High-Speed Network. He works on the tools Snort and Suricata and uses parameter resource uses, packet processing speed, packet drop rate, and detection accuracy. He concluded that Snort performance remained consistent regardless of the combinations tried. Next author is Eugene Albin. Eugene Albin uses the title A Realistic Experiment, Comparison of Suricata and Snort Intrusion Detection System. And he works on the tools Snort and Suricata and uses the parameters speed, memory, requirement, and accuracy of the detection engines. He concludes that Suricata performance on CPU can be significantly improved in the second experiment when high performance computers are available, and in the third experiment both engine detected non-malicious packet at a high rate. Next is Akash Garg. Author Akash Garg uses the title Performance Analysis of he uses the title Performance Analysis of Snort-based IDS. He uses the tool Snort and concludes that Snort is a free open source IDS that can be used to detect and prevent attacks. For example, if an attack is detected, the connection can be immediately terminated to prevent malicious attack from entering the network system. Now, I conclude my work. This paper provides an overall review of IDS types and tools, as well as evaluation of various tools. This paper examined various techniques that have been used in IDS. It is an important defense mechanism for, say, network and system. And IDS monitor and analyze data in a system to detect any attacks. Security is essential on a national, international scale, as IDS can detect intrusion before and after an attack occurs. In the last several years, IDS has improved significantly over time with enhanced open source and licensed technology. Here are some references. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Hello everyone, myself Shweta Kumari. I'm from IIT Madras, India. The topic of my presentation is brain-inspired attention model for action recognition. So here's the outline: introduction, proposed approach, results, and then conclusion. Basically, we have developed a brain-inspired attention model using a recurrent neural network to recognize the action in videos using attentional search. The proposed model, which is based on visual attention, scans the images by making a sequence of attentional jumps or saards. We have used UCF11 dataset here. We have considered only 2 classes for this experiment, horse riding and bike riding. There are 250 videos in training dataset and 62 videos in validation. This is the network architecture where here is the image, and we cropped out 3 concentric attention window from the image and These windows are resized into the size, two bigger windows are resized into the size of the smaller window, and they are stacked together. That is called attentional input. This attentional input, we send it to the network pipeline. The first pipeline is the classifier network, and the second pipeline is the saard network. And there is another pipeline is eye position network, where heat map is the input to the to this network, and the heat map is corresponding to the smallest attention window, which is placed here. And these inputs are passed on to the corresponding network. The classifier network gives the prediction of the classes, and saard networks gives the next location of the attention window. And the output from eye position network gets merged into one concatenation layer, and we train this network using deep reinforcement learning. So basically, these are the attention window inputs that we have considered, size of the three concentric windows. And the features from the attention window gets integrated using the convolutional neural network. And the model consists of primarily two modules here, classifier network and saard network. Whereas this classifier network predicts the class of the action going on in the video frame, and the saard network predicts the saardic jump in the next frame of the video. When the maximum value of the predicted class crosses a threshold, the model halts making saards and outputs its class prediction. Class prediction results in a positive reward, which is used to train the model by using Q-learning. There is so we train this network for 3 epochs, and the jump length of the attention window from one location to next location is taken as 50. So 50 is the number of pixels. And here is the saardic pattern, which was given output from the saard network. So you can see the saardic trajectory started from this point of the window, and it keeps moving on the legs of the horse and on the head. Whereas in bike riding, saard, there is more fixation on the seat and hand and the person, the way person is seated on the bike. So this is what has been observed, and these plots are showing the classification probability for two classes. So blue curve is the predicted classification probability, and the red curve is the ground truth. Here is the plot between epochs and accuracy. So the training accuracy we achieved around 95%, and validation accuracy is around 62%. We are still working on this by adding more images in training datasets so that this overfitting problem can be solved. In the conclusion, we achieve a training accuracy of 95.58% and a validation accuracy of 60.31%. Simulation shows that the attention window fixates on the location in the frame where the relevant information of the ongoing action is present to give a correct recognition in the window. For example, in case of horse riding, the attention window fixates on the tail, forelegs, and the head of the horse. Whereas in case of bike riding, the attention window fixates on the back seat and the wheels of the bicycle. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your wonderful presentation, Smita. So yeah, just wanted to know, like you have like 30% differences in the results, right? So with respect to the train and valid accuracy. So when it comes to implement, like, is it implementation? There is a lot of work pending over there. Is what you feel, right? And what are the future scope of work you plan to do to increase the same? And
Yeah,
the
so
previous slide, I also one thing wanted to check was, can you just throw some light on this? The green links which you can find there. So is that the way it behaves, or what is what was the source of this results? Like, how did you what is this? How did you analyze this basically, or which software or which tool you used to get this simulation, especially? What exactly is this? Wanted to understand. Little curious about this, though.
yeah, so we have used Python language with the TensorFlow framework library for deep learning. And these are the locations which was predicted by the saard network, the middle pipeline here. So it predicts the location of the attention window. And this trajectory is showing the location of the attention window. So end point of each line is the place where attention window has visited to recognize the action. And this was the answer for second question. And the first question which you asked, there is gap of 30% accuracy between validation and training. So to overcome this, we are adding more number of videos in training. Because right now we have just taken 250 videos for training. That is not sufficient. UCF data is very vast data set. So we are planning to increase our computational power so that we can run our model with all the videos to avoid the biasness towards the training videos.
Okay, what is the ratio of training is to this one?
So it looks like 25%. Yeah, 20 to 25%.
Okay. So you have used the images from these training videos to train the data, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so totally 250 videos were used for getting. And is it only on those type of games it has been used, or on any other things also you're planning to use? Like, what exactly?
Yeah, so we are planning to apply the same approach to search the target object in 3D environment. Suppose there is indoor environment in 3D structure, and you have to find out where the table is present. So that there also we are working on, and this was the first trial that we have tried. And we wanted to check if the model is able to recognize the action or not. So it is quite a decent result. Just we need to increase the number of videos in training data sets.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, good work. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yichao Li from Peking University, and the topic of the report today is constructing the innovation-driven knowledge service ecosystem model of think tank. From the abstract, we can see that the paper proposed a conceptual model of the innovation-driven knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks based on a literature review, and the model's elements are derived from ecosystem theory, while the knowledge service ecosystem model of think tanks is constructed by applying innovation-driven knowledge service in knowledge service development theory. As we all know, a think tank is a policy research and advisory body composed of experts with clear research directions and multidisciplinary backgrounds. Based on the acquisition, development, utilization, and innovation of the knowledge, a think tank could provide policymakers with theories, strategies, methods, and ideas for dealing with complex issues. However, there is little research on the knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks, and the existing relevant research mainly focused on the concept, theoretical construction and application of knowledge ecosystems and service ecosystem. So our paper explores how an innovation-driven knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks could be constructed to provide a new theoretical basis for the research on the ecosystem. And our model aims to improve the innovativeness and service capacities of the knowledge service ecosystem. The second part is the theoretical foundations. The first theory is ecosystem theory. From the two figures, we can see the relationship of the biological elements in an ecosystem and the relationship of ecosystem structure, function, and services. From this paragraph, we can see that an ecosystem have different elements and they have structure and different characteristics. The next theory is the innovation-driven development theory, and this theory has been put up since the 1911, and it may be described as an economy based on the production, distribution, and use of knowledge and information. In other words, this is a knowledge economy using knowledge as its production factor, which is created by human intelligence. The third part is the elements of knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks. We can find that in the ecosystem, there are different elements, and different elements have different contexts. And we analogy these different elements into the knowledge service ecosystem think tanks and divided these different elements into different categories. And we can also find that the ecosystem and the knowledge service ecosystem have different characteristics, such as the integrity, hierarchy, openness, stability, and so on. The first part is the important part of our paper is about the construction of the model. From the picture, we can see that the model has a very clear structure composed of think tanks, clients, and the public. The public and the public knowledge bases and the knowledge environment. Various think tanks are service subjects, clients are service objects, and the public are participants. The ecosystem has a hierarchy characteristic. Based on the innovation-driven development theory, human capital is the core element of the innovation-driven development. Therefore, human capital is the driving force of this ecosystem and drives the sustainable development of the system. Human capital continuously flow from the knowledge environment into the think tanks and is decomposed into knowledge and intellectual resources in the knowledge service activities of think tanks. Think tanks interact with clients, the public, through the circulation of the knowledge resource and the flow of the intellectual resource, forming a knowledge service value chain. Thus, the knowledge service ecosystem think tank has a nutritional structure. Through the knowledge service value chain, think tanks realize the functions of knowledge resources circulation, intellectual resource flow and knowledge service delivery, and the ecosystem has functionality characteristic. In the end, we derive from the ecosystem and innovation-driven development theories. We propose a constructual model to study the knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks. And our model argues that human capital is the driving force of the innovation-driven ecosystem and defines the concept and elements of this ecosystem. By doing so, this paper explains the unit of analysis of the innovation-driven development theory from general industrial organizations to knowledge-intensive organizations. And further, the study provides a reference model for policymakers and management of think tanks who are interested in the sustainable and innovative development of their knowledge service ecosystem of think tanks. There are some reference of my paper, and we appreciate the support of the fund and the help of those people. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Good afternoon all. Myself Anaka MP. I am from Vinayaga Missions Kiripananda Vaidya Engineering College, Salem. The topic that I am presenting today is to study the work-life balance and subjective well-being of employees in insurance sector with special reference to Northern Kerala. Introduction. So now the technologies are changing and society's attitude towards work have also changed. After the novel coronavirus, the work from home opportunity have increased a lot. It has been a great relaxation for those who are traveling a lot to get to the office. But at the same time, it's an overload for others because we have the desktop, Wi-Fi connection, everything in our hand now. So the companies are forcing employees to do their work beyond the actual office hours. The feeling, thoughts, and actions of employees within an organization are driven by well-being. The personal obligations of pressure work condition are negligible. There is a relationship between personal as well as professional life. If we have a better personal life, then we will be able to balance our work as well as our life. The work-life balance and subjective health are very important to organization and employees. If the employees are stressed, they won't be able to concentrate on their work. So the work-related and family factors have a major role in work-life balance. Therefore, employees need to find a balance between work and personal life to reduce stress and increase life happiness. An effective work-life balance helps employees to minimize their stress level and have a happy life. Literature review. A literature review is something that helps the listeners, readers, as well as the reviewer to understand what is the chosen field of the study of the researcher. Literature review are collected from books, journals, paper, articles. A literature review applicable to the study is presented there. The term work-life balance was in the world from a lot of years ago. From 1986, the word work-life balance was coined. Work-life balance means that the existence, particular and professional life are on equal foot. That means we should have a proper balance between work and life. If we are concentrating more on work, then our family life won't be able to balance. An unstable work-life impact work productivity in both particular and professional spheres and increase particular stress and other internal health issues. If we are more on work and if we are not able to concentrate on our family life, the stress will lead to some other serious diseases to the employees. Balancing work demand, stress, housework, and childcare demands are proved as major walls to workers achieving work-life balance. Work-life balance encourages workers to prioritize their time and balance family, internal health, career, and more. Helps workers develop fidelity to the company. Work-life balance means the capability to manage your work and particular time and live a healthy and peaceful life. Rising employment rates while working from home forced employees to work 24 hours a day. Now the competition are high in the market, so the companies are forcing the employees to take over the work more than the office hours, so that they will be able to do their task and will be able to compete with other companies. Methodology. The study is basically on the study is based on primary and secondary data. The primary data are collected by face-to-face interview and questionnaire, which is collected from 100 respondents. Then the secondary data are collected from books, articles, journals. The reason of this observe is to apprehend the work, lifestyle stability, and subjective fitness debut of a worker of the coverage sector in Northern Kerala. Thus, the geographical area of the study is Northern Kerala. Data collection. Primary data collected using questionnaires. Primary data are more expensive, but if you want accurate information suitable for collecting primary data for the research projects. Secondary data are collected from journals, articles, reports. List of sources. The target group for the study is employees in the insurance sector. Objective. Analysis of the relationship between work-life balance and subjective well-being among employees in the insurance industry. The second objective is analysis of work-life balance limitations as work-private interference, private work interference, work-private life enhancement. Third objective, examining various aspects of subjective well-being, including life satisfaction, well-being conditions, and subjective well-being ratings. Last objective, determining gender difference in work-life balance. Hypothesis. The first hypothesis, there is a significant difference in work-life balance on gender. There is no significant difference in work-life balance based on gender, and this is tested with the help of t-test. Second hypothesis, there is a significant relationship between work-life balance and subjective well-being. There is no significant relationship between work-life balance and subjective well-being. This is studied with the help of correlation analysis. Gaps. Majority of the studies in work-life balance is contributed by American and European countries. In India, the work-life balance studies are very limited. And the second gap is studies are conducted in a gender-specific manner, as the women employees are only selected as a target group. Even if we look at the work-life related articles published in journals and all, we can see that those articles are more targeting on women, like only women need to balance their work and life. The men also need to balance their work as well as their life, but the men are not targeted, or the both genders are not targeted a lot. Only the women employees are targeted more in most of the studies. Then the findings that I have got after the questionnaire collection and all, and testing with t-test and correlation analysis are, there's a correlation between overall work-life balance and satisfaction. Thus, the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis accepted. Then there is a link between overall work-life balance and overall subjective well-being. There is a relationship between work-life balance and life satisfaction. There is a correlation between overall subjective well-being and improvements in work or personal life. There is a correlation between complete subjective well-being and work interference with personal life. The vast majority of employees, on the basis of questionnaire, the vast majority of employees are completely unhappy with their colleagues and bosses. Most of our employees do not have enough time to exercise, eat right, and stay fit due to excessive work-related stress and strain. Most of them indicate that they are dependent on others for household and other tasks related to their personal lives. A majority of employees say their organization's work-life balance policies should be tailored to their individual needs. The majority of employees believe their work allows them to find happiness in their personal life. Suggestions. Stress is related to all work in some way. There is no job without any stress. You need to understand your boss and give yourself enough time to complete the task as part of the employee's side. All employees have family and expect to spend time with them. You can reduce employee stress by hosting social events and get-together in which the families are included. An awareness program on proper work-life balance can be implemented for the very few employees who can't cope with their work and lifestyle. Workers with poor work-life balance should be given more attention by providing facilities such as counseling. Organizations need to strengthen their financial securities measures to help increase employee satisfaction. Organizations should increase team building exercise to help improve work-life balance. Employees should create a time budget to spend their time comfortably with their family, friends, exercise, and sleep. The company should provide comfortable accommodation for employees who are traveling from far. This will allow use extra time, travel time to complete your work. Organization should conduct an annual work-life survey to understand how the employees' work-life balance is going on. Is there any issue or is there anything to be resolved? The majority of employees are permanent employees, thus the organization can divide the work into two people and can share the same job part-time. Organization should focus on dedicating more time to extracurricular activity and professional development. It should be better to establish new guidelines on mental health and work-life balance and in discussion with workers. Organization should raise worker awareness to manage their stress, distress, work-life imbalance, and to practice yoga and meditation centers. Proper sanitary facility should be given to employees. Organization should provide reward and recognition to their employees. Conclusion, I would like to conclude that HR or human resources employees are the most important part of the organization. Even though the technologies have increased, even though everything is advanced, without the employees, the organization can't work. So it's a responsibility of the organization to maintain a proper work-life balance for their employees, and it should be ensured. Thus, work-life balance is very important issue in HR. Employee work-life balance and subjective well-being have a significant impact on the productivity and growth of both organization and employees. If the employees are satisfied, if the employees have proper work-life balance, then they will be staying in the organization itself. Otherwise, they will be leaving the organization, which will be a huge loss in case of cost to the organization. Thus, there should be proper balance between work as well as life so that the employee can achieve their personal as well as professional goals. These are the references that I have gone through for my paper presentation. Thank you for listening.